Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news right now at 8 o'clock. A Wake County shootout. A man was shot by deputies this morning after they say he started shooting at them. The timeline of events from law enforcement.
And a 5-year-old shot. New this morning, WRAL spoke with the girl's mother about what happened. Hear how she says the shooting started and what the girl was doing.
And so far, a quiet start to the morning, but tracking more storms that develop heading into the evening and redevelop heading into tomorrow. An hour-by-hour update and the latest from the tropics coming up.
Thank you so much for waking up with us here your Tuesday morning, the first day in July, if you can believe it.
I know.
I'm Chris Lovinggood.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. I was just saying to Chris Michaels, I can officially say I am getting married next month.
Hey!
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy to think we got here so quickly. Time goes so fast. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's talk to Chris now about the weather, Chris.
And yeah, it is tropical season after all. June 1st is the official start, but now a 30% chance of development off the East Coast heading into the weekend. That's up from the 20% we were reporting earlier this morning. Still, no need to go canceling any plans at the beach just yet. Back this far inland, the chance for localized flooding this evening in our western counties. In our northeastern counties, that's where we see that chance heading into tomorrow afternoon. Here's your hour-by-hour chances. Notice through midday, early afternoon today, as chances are low. It's as we get closer to sunset that we start to bump them up. Through midday tomorrow, that's when I expect most of the storms, and then they're pretty hit and miss heading into the evening. Widespread warmth, high temperature, current temperature, I should say, of 80 degrees outside of Fenton and Cary, where you see some of those puffy white cumulus clouds, and temperatures today making it back into the low to mid 90s. Jeff?
Yeah, heat of the day on the way, and the heat of our morning rush happening right now, because in just the last 30 seconds, we had a couple more crashes pop up here. I'm going to get you to a few of these right now and show you. First off, we're going to take you to Durham and show you how this crash at Tower Boulevard, Durham Chapel Hill Boulevard, not causing, it should be off to the side right there because it's not causing any kind of backups in that area right now. Take you to another one here. This crash investigation continues, and it's on I-40 westbound right near Wade Avenue. Anytime we have anything in that area this time of day, there are going to be some backups. They are starting to form in that area, as we can see right now. Okay, the last of the three that I can show you right now, a serious crash and Maynard Road, Chapel Hill Road, that intersection right there. You want to take North Harrison Avenue to get around that. Chapel Hill Road also will get you around that, but that is a surface road, so just give yourself a little extra time if you head through that area. I do want to tell you that you can check us out on 101.5 HD3 anywhere around the triangle. I'll be back in a few minutes.
I will see you then, Jeff. Thank you. We're still following this breaking story as deputies are at a Wake County home at what the sheriff's office is calling a shootout with an armed man. Deputies shot the man, who is now in the hospital. Let's go live to WRAL's Ali Kadlubar. She is there in the WRAL breaking news tracker. Ali, the sheriff's office says deputies only returned fire after the man shot at them.
Yes, Chris, and just in the past hour, we've actually seen forensics units actually investigating possibly one of those guns that were involved in this shootout. But we want to give you a closer look at what this investigation scene looks like. So take a look at this drone 5 footage. You can see the sheriff's deputies' cars lining that street. You can also see one of those sheriff's deputies' cars blocked off with tape. You can also see the home. That's where officers responded to a report of a man threatening to hurt himself. When they got there, listen to this broadcastify radio traffic of what happened.
Having shots fired, in unit. 10-4, all units, 200 Benner Drive. Shots fired, Wake. Shots fired. Shots fired.
Very scary moments there. This is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker just an hour after this happened. The sheriff's office says when deputies got to the home around 1:50, a man with a gun shot at them. Deputies then shot back. The sheriff's office says a man was seriously hurt and taken to the hospital. We know that the State Bureau of Investigations is here. I have reached out to them for further details about what led up to the shooting, why a man shot at the deputies, as well as how many people were involved in this incident. We're going to keep you guys updated throughout the morning. Reporting in Wake County, Ali Kadlubar, WRAL News.
Just after midnight, a woman was hurt in a shooting in Durham, and police say they responded to Monterey Creek Drive, where they found that woman who was shot. Video from the WRAL breaking news tracker shows police cars there and evidence markers on the ground. The woman was taken to the hospital and she is expected to recover.
This morning, we are hearing from the mother of a girl who was shot during an apparent road rage shooting in Cary. She spoke with WRAL as her 5-year-old is in the hospital. Kelsey Coffey has more on what the mother said led up to that shooting.
Today, we're learning new details about what led up to that 5-year-old girl being shot. Officers are here inside the Cary Police Department investigating. We'll take you to some Sky 5 video from that scene on US 1 North at Cary Parkway. We spoke with the 5-year-old's mom off camera late last night to get an update. She says this all started on US 64 when her husband spotted the shooter's car and another vehicle weaving back and forth. She says the shooter threw something out of their car window, and that object hit her husband's vehicle. Later, on US 1, her husband caught up to that driver. She says he rolled down his window to yell at the person, and that's when they fired a gunshot. The little girl's mom says a bullet was found in her sippy cup. She says her daughter has extensive damage to her leg, but she's expected to be okay. Right now, we're asking police whether they have an update on if they found the shooter. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Cary.
And NC State is telling people to stay alert after a series of car break-ins on campus. University police received 7 reports of locked cars being broken into in the Stateview Hotel parking lot, as well as the Wolf Village parking lot. They say all of them happened between 8 p.m. Sunday and 12:30 a.m. on Monday. A gun was among the items taken. Anybody with information should contact University police.
We're getting a look this morning at the inmate who is back in jail after an attempted escape that left a Western North Carolina Sheriff's deputy dead and another injured. This is Kelvin Simmons. He tried to escape from Cherokee County, according to investigators. They say 2 deputies were escorting him to a doctor's appointment when he took one of their weapons. Sheriff Dustin Smith confirmed that Officer Francisco Flates was shot and killed. Officer George Feinauer, was also hurt but was not shot. Simmons fled in a stolen vehicle and was arrested in Macon County after a high-speed chase and a standoff.
Governor Josh Stein expected to sign several important bills this morning. House Bill 959 is expected to be signed. It would require North Carolina school boards to restrict the use of cell phones, ban access to TikTok on campus, and require schools to teach students social media literacy. He is also expected to sign a Senate bill that would direct state human resources to reassess job descriptions and scale back education and experience requirements. This is in an effort to fill long vacant positions.
Just a heads up, starting today, you'll have to pay more to use ride-sharing companies. A new state tax will be applied to all rides booked through services such as Uber and Lyft. It's called the Transportation Commerce Tax. That money will be used to pay for road and bridge maintenance. There's a 1.5% tax for solo rides and 1% for shared rides.
Higher rates are set to take effect today for Raleigh water customers. The average bill will increase about $1.91 per month. In addition to Raleigh, the change also applies to most homes in Garner, Knightdale, Rollsville, Wake Forest, Wendell, and Zebulon, the towns receiving service from city water. The increase was approved as part of the city's budget to offset upgrade costs.
Today, the Senate may vote on President Donald Trump's sweeping budget bill, but it's unclear if that'll pass. Senators were in a vote-a-rama overnight, and that is when Democrats proposed dozens of amendments in order to delay the bill. Republicans could only spare 3 votes, but they're seeing a break from support for the bill within their party. North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis opposed the bill because he says qualified Medicaid recipients could lose coverage. Senators Rand Paul and John Curtis also opposed the legislation. And if the bill passes, it will head back to the House.
Right now in the WRAL Live Center, we are keeping an eye on Air Force One. The president is expected to head to the Florida Everglades today. He will attend the opening of the immigrant detention center that's spearheaded by state Republican leaders, which has faced vocal pushback from Democrats, activist groups over humanitarian and environmental concerns. State Republicans call this facility Alligator Alcatraz. It was a brainchild of the state attorney general. This has
received significant national attention. Florida's governor described this as a way for Florida to align the state with Trump's anti-immigrant crackdown. So Florida's governor says the president is going to be touring the facility today, which is expected to be ready for operation starting today.
Some people are upset about that facility because of what it could do to the ecosystem in the Everglades. Thank you, Renee. A Harnett County family is describing the terrifying moments when their house caught fire. 2 homes had severe damage yesterday after that fire broke out on Tileman Roads in Coates there, and one family ended up losing everything. More than 7 agencies responded to that fire, and the fire was able to be put out in about 90 minutes. As Asher Richardson looked at that devastation, he says that he is just glad that both he and his mom made it out unharmed.
I opened the door and there was smoke in one room, and then in the next room there was just a wall of flames. And then we just got out as fast as we could. I grabbed the cat, and thankfully we all made it out safe.
The Harnett County Fire Marshal's office is investigating the cause of that fire, and a GoFundMe page has been set up to support the Richardson family.
Coming up on 8/11, coming up, close call. Video captures the moment a pilot in South Carolina flipped upside down. This happened during a crash, and he walked away. We'll tell you why he made the choice to turn the plane over.
And pleading guilty, one of the men accused of killing a Wake County deputy reached an agreement with prosecutors on one charge. We'll explain, though, why his case is not over.
And brand new this morning now, a 30% chance of tropical development off the East Coast heading into the weekend. I'll show you why that doesn't necessarily mean canceling plans at the coast or here at home for the 4th of July. Coming up. (8:14), another warm start to the morning. Temperature 75 to 80 degrees. Holly Springs 76, Fayetteville 79, Rocky Mount at 78. So far on your Tuesday, hour by hour trying to get a workout in. I don't know. I prefer the AC. But if you're daring, temperatures low to mid 90s. Just make sure you've got the water, the electrolytes, and get some rest too. As we head into the evening, showers and storms start to become a little bit more likely. This with a slow moving front. It's going to keep our chances in the mix through at least midday tomorrow. Then as we head toward the evening tomorrow, chances come down, and we're actually looking pretty dry as we get closer to the 4th of July. Now a 30% chance of development off the East Coast, but even still, you see most of the rain should stay offshore. We'll help you plan for the upcoming holiday weekend coming up in less than 5 minutes. Jeff?
Thanks, Chris. Take a look at this. We have I-40 at Wade Avenue. This is a live look right now, and I wanted to start with this live picture to see how traffic is moving because we had that crash investigation on I-440 westbound right near Wade Avenue, and this time of day, that could be a nightmare. It has cleared, so that has been moved off, and right now traffic moving just fine in that area where we're talking about here. But I want to show you, so there's no delay there, obviously, in how things are going with this start. So that live look, this is changing by the minute. So I need you to come back with me. You listen on 101.5 HD3 all around the triangle, but come back with me because I'm checking out a couple of these that are really causing some backups.
Busy morning on the roads. Thanks, Jeff. Well, WRAL has learned that the district attorney will not charge 3 Scotland Neck police officers over their handling of an unsolved murder case. LaToya Lawrence was found dead from a gunshot wound in 2021. A man called the police department days later wanting to meet in Rocky Mount to discuss the case. At that meeting, Scotland Neck officers took the man into custody. Last month, the DA dropped murder charges against the man. The SBI investigated officers Marvin Hilliard and Marcus Morris, as well as Scotland Neck Chief Tommy Parker. Prosecutors said they were out of their jurisdiction when they detained the man, but they did not intend to commit a crime. The murder victim's cousin is outraged.
I'm angry. I'm angry because these police officers, they broke the law in a murder case. So I am angry today. I'm very mad. This seems like it's never going to stop.
Lawrence's family says police have destroyed and misplaced evidence, including confessions. Chief Parker and Officer Hilliard resigned last month. The town board requested it after the DA sent a letter outlining concerns about their credibility. Lawrence's murder remains unsolved.
One of the men accused of murdering a Wake County deputy pleaded guilty to a federal charge. Alderman Sotelo and his brother Arturo are accused of killing Deputy Ned Bird during a traffic stop in 2022. A plea agreement dated last week says Alderman Sotelo pleaded guilty to conspiracy to assist or instigate escape. This is separate from the state murder charges for Deputy Byrd's death. Maureen Sotelo will be sentenced in the coming weeks, and prosecutors took the death penalty off the table, but the brothers are still facing murder charges.
A man was found guilty of second-degree murder related to a crash in Johnston County back in 2023. Saidina Nadai was traveling eastbound on Highway 70 business when he hit Yuri Vashniak, who was loading vehicles onto his trailer on the shoulder of the road. Investigators say his blood alcohol level was 2 times the legal limit in North Carolina. He had several other pending charges at the time of that crash.
More than 300 people are charged with healthcare fraud, and that includes 5 people in our area. This is part of the largest crackdown on healthcare fraud in the local cases. Acting U.S. Attorney Daniel Bubar told WRAL the defendants paid patients to receive treatment, and they're also accused of receiving kickbacks from a lab and then sending medical equipment to people who did not need it.
In total, through these cases that we're highlighting today from the Eastern District of North Carolina, it's a total of almost $65 million of billings that are made up in this case.
7 healthcare professionals were also convicted on a variety of conspiracy charges, and these are related to healthcare and some for targeting immigrant communities. Nationwide, more than $14.6 billion was charged to Medicare or Medicaid by defendants in these cases.
The man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students is expected to be in court today after agreeing to a plea deal. This is according to one of the victims' family and their attorney. The murder trial for Brian Kohberger was just weeks away from getting underway in Boise. Kohberger was likely to face the death penalty for the 2022 murders. The Goncalves family made a statement on social media saying they are furious about the news of this deal. A pilot is okay this morning after a plane flipped and crashed into a yard in South Carolina, and the whole thing was caught on camera. Take a look at this video from a Nest camera. You see the plane there on the top of your screen, the plane coming down and flipping as it came to a stop. The pilot, Harold Chapman, was the only person on the plane and walked away with some scratches and bruises. He was okay. Chapman says that he was trying to land on a grass strip, but he came in too fast. A bump in the grass caused the plane to go airborne, and says he made the choice to flip the plane to avoid further damage.
You can try to do a go around, full flaps, carb heat on, not a good idea. I'd have probably hit the power line, so I made the decision to just plan it, slow it down as slow as I could, and then right before the tree line, put it on its top.
There's no word on how much damage was done to the plane, but I mean, in this case, it doesn't matter. I mean, the guy survived. He's okay. Planes can be rebuilt. Sometimes humans cannot. So, it's just, I'm glad he's okay.
Yeah, he survived that. It could have been way worse.
Yes.
All right, getting over to our weather forecast here. We have Chris Michaels taking a look at worst case impacts and regarding, what is that, tonight, it looks like weather-wise?
Exactly, yeah. So it'd probably be toward this evening. Like you said, closer to, if not after sunset. The worst case would be localized flooding, especially in some of our western counties, and maybe a storm or two that tries to produce some damage. I'm not really concerned about large hail or a tornado with this evening's storms. Here's 4 p.m., and you may have a few stray downpours around that time, but the bulk of what we see is going to be around, if not after 8 p.m., and most of that is still west of I-95, and that'll be the general trend heading into the overnight as these storms gradually weaken. May still be some showers around for the morning commute tomorrow, but the bulk of our storminess, that's going to be late morning into the early afternoon tomorrow, shifting east of US 1. Later in the day we go, the more hit and miss our downpours become as some drier air starts to move in out of the north and west, and that'll set us up with the holiday weekend. But before we get there tomorrow, we're using the word cool loosely. It'll be in the 80s, but that's the coolest we've been since June the 5th. That doesn't last very long, though. Thursday, low 90s. 4th of July, low to mid 90s. Saturday and Sunday will be in the low to mid 90s as well. Maybe a stray storm chance as we keep an eye on an area of low pressure that will be offshore. This morning, temperatures across the triangle, 75 to 80. Clayton and Zebulon up to 77 degrees already. And that's a sign of things to come. We still have plenty of dry time today. We make it into the low to mid 90s this afternoon. Then by this evening, we keep an eye on those showers and storms. So tomorrow, there's that little bit of a cool down. Again, temperatures in the 80s. Thursday, maybe a stray storm on the back edge of that front in our southern counties. High temperatures about 92. Fireworks displays for Thursday, for Friday, they look great. Temperatures each afternoon in the 90s, heating up a little bit more heading into early next week. Jeff?
Thanks, Chris. Take a look at the big map here as we see these crash icons just keep popping up all over the area there. There are a couple that I want to raise your attention to because this disabled vehicle right here on I-440, the westbound lane right near New Bern Avenue, there were backups all through this area headed into it. Now the backups are showing up after it. So that is one of those areas where a big problem, disabled vehicle. Hopefully they get that off to the side. Take you out to Knightdale right now. This area of 87, it looks like with this crash icon, it looks like it's right on 87. But look at South Smithfield Road. This is where the crash is, a serious crash, and so folks trying to get on 87 are going to have a big problem right there as they get into Smithfield Road there. Last, I want to just point out one more look as we head right around our area here. Yeah, we'll take you back all the way back to that crash incident on Tower Boulevard at Durham Chapel Hill Road. No backups there, guys.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Filing for bankruptcy, Wolfspeed is laying out its plan to navigate the next several months. Hear how the company still plans to operate as normal.
And avoiding junk fees, they're costing American families thousands every year. 5 on Your Side explains what's being done to stop them.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. Beautiful, sunny, and hot right now, but that's going to change later on. We could see some storms. Meteorologist Chris Michaels walks us through it.
And especially geared toward those evening hours, right? The worst case would be some localized wind damage, localized flooding, especially as you go west of I-95. Storm chances relatively low up until about 4 or 5 p.m. Around and after sunset is when storm chances go up. We'll see our storms through about midday tomorrow, and then gradually into the afternoon and evening, chances will trickle off to about 30%. And a 30% chance of development off the East Coast in terms of the tropics. I'll show you why you don't need to go canceling weekend plans coming up over on Fox 50. Jeff?
I'm going to show you 8 crash icons right now around the belt line. A lot of attention right there, as you can see. Not all of them serious, not all of them holding up traffic, but this one certainly is. As you take a look at a disabled vehicle, I-440 westbound right near New Bern Avenue, causing some delays before and after that incident where it sits right there now. So moving out to Knightdale, a lot of folks make this commute in. And if you're coming up Smithfield Road trying to get on 87, there's a serious crash right there, Smithfield Road. It's in the southbound lane, but folks coming up there are going to have a tough time getting on that. 101.5 HD3 all around the triangle to listen to us.
Thanks, Jeff. A man is seriously hurt after a shootout with Wake County deputies. The sheriff's office says they responded to a call at a home on Bernard Drive around 1:50 this morning. They say the man shot at them and they shot back. We are working to learn the man's identity and the deputies involved. And Governor Josh Stein expected to sign several bills this morning. One would require North Carolina school boards to restrict cell phones on campuses. He's also expected to sign a bill that would direct state human resources to reassess job descriptions. We'll have more news, weather, and traffic over on Fox 50.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking right now at 8:30, a man is in the hospital after a shootout with Wake County deputies. This is a live look at the scene from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. What we're learning from law enforcement about how this all unfolded.
Plus, a mother's message. This morning, we're hearing from the mother of a 5-year-old girl shot in an apparent road rage case in Cary. What she says led up to it and how her daughter's doing this morning.
And we'll wait some time before we start tracking storms. We'll give you the hour by hour on those chances and show you some new information from the National Hurricane Center regarding potential development offshore.
We have that and so much more to get your Tuesday morning started. It is officially July 1st. Hey. We're here halfway through the year. It is so crazy. Thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
I'm Chris Lovingood. Yeah, you got your wedding next month.
Next month, officially next month, yeah.
Today marks 1 year that Chris Michaels has been here at WRAL, yes. And we are so happy to have you here, Chris.
I'm happy to be here, and congratulations to you guys for putting up with that for an entire year. So it's been a busy one weather-wise, and we start out our July 1st with a 30% chance of development off the East Coast. Even though that odd has come up by 10%, still wouldn't go canceling plans if you're heading out to the beach for the 4th of July. And really just looks like some scattered storms out that way. Now, if we do see our third named storm, it'd be a lot quicker than average. The average date for that is August the 3rd. This time last year, we had Beryl. This time in 2023, we'd already gotten up to Cindy. Out the door this morning, it feels tropical, much like it has over the past several days. When dew points are in the 70s, that's that real mugginess that I think a lot of us are starting to get accustomed to, and getting accustomed to the heat as well. Hour by hour, if you find some time to hit up the pool, temperatures will be in the low to mid 90s. Storm chances, they'll start to go up, especially as we get closer to sunset. I'll give you the latest hour by hour timing for that and for tomorrow coming up. Jeff?
Yeah, Chris, we're going to have a look right now at I-40 at Lake Wheeler Road. See traffic moving along just fine, but I want to show you this. There's a whole bunch of crash icons that are up right now, and a new one that just popped up that I want to show you here as we get a little bit closer into it. This is a crash investigation that's happening on I-40 westbound. And you see the slowdowns that are happening. That would appear to be after the crash. So I'm going to look into what is happening over there. But certainly one of the areas that we want to keep an eye on throughout the morning because it's just a busy travel area as well. This is the second on the outer belt right there. Disabled vehicle. This is 440 westbound, right near New Bern Avenue. I've been showing you this one. Backups don't seem to be in the westbound lane prior to that accident as they were earlier. There were some major backups. Now they're coming after that incident right there. So 101.5 HD3 as things continue to change here throughout the morning. We're at the height of rush hour. You can listen to us all around the triangle.
On the go. Thanks, Jeff. Breaking right now, deputies are surrounding a home in southern Wake County after a shootout with an armed man.
Yeah, this happened early this morning on Benar Drive in Raleigh. Ali Kadlabar is there in the WRAL breaking news tracker. Ali, you've been there for quite some time this morning. The sheriff's office says deputies shot that man after he shot at them. What else do we know about this?
Yes, Michelle. Well, actually, in the past half hour, we drove by the scene and we saw forensics teams investigating the home. A very lengthy investigation process so far. Take a look at this video from Drone 5. You can see just how many sheriff's deputies' vehicles are on the scene right now. You can also see a sheriff's deputy vehicle taped off, as well as a home that is involved in this incident. Now, that's the home that officers responded to on a report of a man threatening to hurt himself. When they got there, listen to this Broadcastify radio traffic of what happened.
Shots fired, in unit. 10 for all units, 200 Benner Drive. Shots fired, Wake. Shots fired. Shots fired.
Very scary moment. This is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker just an hour after this all happened. The sheriff's office says when deputies got to the home around 1:50 with a gun shot at them. Deputies then shot back. The sheriff's office says a man was seriously hurt and was taken to the hospital. We know that the State Bureau of Investigation is here. I have reached out to them for more details because we're still working to how many people were involved in this incident, as well as who shot at the deputies and how many deputies were involved as well. So we're going to keep you updated throughout the morning. We are working to get you those details. Reporting in Wake County, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
And just after midnight, a woman was hurt in a shooting at an apartment complex. This happened in Durham. Police say they responded to Monterey Creek Drive where they found that woman. Video from the breaking news tracker shows several police cars there and evidence markers on the ground. The woman was taken to the hospital and she is expected to be physically okay.
And we are learning more this morning about an apparent road rage shooting that left a 5-year-old little girl hurt. This was Sky 5 over that scene. The child's mother spoke with WRAL about what happened, and WRAL's Kelsey Coffey has an update on that little girl's health and how she's doing.
Today, we're learning new details about what led up to that 5-year-old girl being shot. Officers are here inside the Cary Police Department investigating. We'll take you to some Sky 5 video from that scene on US 1 North at Cary Parkway. We spoke with the 5-year-old's mom off camera late last night to get an update. She says this all started on US 64 when her husband spotted the shooter's car and another vehicle weaving back and forth. She says the shooter threw something out of their car window, and that object hit her husband's vehicle. Later, on US 1, her husband caught up to that driver. She says he rolled down his window to yell at the person, and that's when they fired a gunshot. The little girl's mom says a bullet was found in her sippy cup. She says her daughter has extensive damage to her leg, but she's expected to be okay. Right now, we're asking police whether they have an update on if they found the shooter. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Cary.
And 2 people are in custody after authorities said they led deputies on a chase in Wake County. This happened yesterday afternoon around 2 o'clock. That's when deputies tried to serve a warrant. A woman got into a vehicle on Pleasant Garden Lane in Raleigh, and then the driver took off. Deputies pursued the two along Rock Quarry Road to Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, and that led them to I-40 and Airport Boulevard, where the chase ended. Investigators say the driver was a juvenile, and both that person and the woman were taken into custody.
Today, Raleigh City Council will meet and discuss several major topics. First, an update on affordable housing initiatives and efforts to address homelessness. Then, city leaders will share an update on the Six Forks Road project. The city manager will also share a report and recommendations for the Convention Center Hotel, Omni, and Resorts. And starting today, vape products that some say are marketed towards kids are now banned in North Carolina. The new law requires the state to certify vape products and punish stores that sell non-certified products. Lawmakers say products that use bright colors and candy-like flavors are designed to appeal to kids. Stores will face unannounced compliance checks to ensure they are not selling the banned products. Despite the new restrictions, hundreds of vape products will still be available for sale.
President Donald Trump's daughter-in-law, Laura Trump, may run for the Senate in North Carolina. Now that Republican Tom Tillis is not seeking re-election, sources say she is the leading potential candidate. Laura Trump has the right to first refusal, and in that case, the president's allies will decide the best candidate to run. Tillis's departure makes North Carolina's seat a bit of a key for the Republicans keeping it in the Senate majority.
Durham-based Wolfspeed is officially filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The semiconductor manufacturer expects to reduce its debt load by 70%. Business will continue as usual under Chapter 11, with the company still paying vendors and delivering products to customers. Wolfspeed plans to emerge from bankruptcy by the end of September.
Just a heads up, starting today, you will not be able to pay your tax payments in person in 4 Wake County towns. Apex, Holly Springs, Knightdale, and Roseville will no longer accept in-person property tax payments. County leaders say in-person payments have declined and more digital options are becoming available. All you have to do is go to wake.gov/payonline.
And Johnston County's new budget goes into effect today. It includes the county's largest property tax cut. The property tax rate will now be reduced to 52 cents per $100 of assessed value. It also includes a 3% pay adjustment for county employees. Johnston County Public Schools will also get $110 million in supplemental expense funding.
Raleigh police are investigating after reports of shots being fired into a building. This happened near Carmen Court around 9:30-ish last night. Police said no injuries were reported, but 6 people were detained. Authorities say a man died because he drowned while swimming at the Outer Banks. The National Park Service says this happened yesterday afternoon just off Frisco near Cape Hatteras. Someone called 911 to report a man floating face down in the water, and someone tried to rescue him, but it was too late. Investigators say he was a 67-year-old man visiting from New York.
This morning, a second procession is planned for the 2 Idaho firefighters killed in an ambush. The bodies of Battalion Chiefs John Morrison and Frank Harwood will return home today. The procession departs from the medical examiner's office at 10 o'clock this morning. It'll continue until it reaches a funeral home in Coeur d'Alene. The investigators shared Morrison and Harwood's identity yesterday. We have also learned the identity of the 3rd firefighter hit by gunfire. David Tisdall is currently in the hospital in stable condition. The suspect, 20-year-old Wes Valroli, was found dead after that shooting.
I want to give you a live look at the Senate floor as the Senate is in the middle of a vote-a-rama, and it's been going on for more than 22 hours. Overnight, Democrats proposed dozens of amendments in order to delay the vote. Republicans can only spare 3 votes, and some are on the fence. Senator Tom Tillis opposes the bill because of his concerns that qualified Medicaid recipients could lose coverage under the bill. And if it does pass, it'll head back to the House. Baby on board. Moments before a Johnston County mother's flight was set to take off, she went into labor.
I said, oh my God, my water broke.
Hear her heartfelt quest to find the two Raleigh passengers who helped her in a moment of need.
And hidden costs. Despite new relief from junk fees, many hidden charges remain legal. Ahead, what this means for your wallet and how to avoid them.
Let's go ahead and take a live look outside at Fenton and Cary. Looks like a few people out there enjoying there. Showers and storms return, but it'll be a while before you see them. Meteorologist Chris Michaels shares the latest timings for the next 2 days.
8:45, plenty of dry time today, but any storms we see this evening have the potential to produce some localized flooding, especially in our westernmost counties. And in terms of a severe risk, localized wind damage can't be ruled out, maybe a storm or two across our 23 counties that we cover. Now, heading into tomorrow, the best chance of localized flooding will be in our northeastern counties. That'd be late morning into the early afternoon hours. Meanwhile, right here, right now, this is such a cool view. I always love showing it as you're looking down on those cumulus clouds from our tall tower camera. 82, the current temperature beneath those clouds, and it is very humid. So we're looking at temperatures today, much like the past few days, making it into the low to mid 90s. It may feel like 98 to 102 with the humidity. I'll show you when we see some brief relief from that coming up. Jeff?
Yeah, we have a live look at I-40 Lake Wheeler Road right now. And as you see the backups here, these are pretty typical backups. This is the westbound direction that we are looking at right now. But I want to show you the map because one thing that I can point out here, crash just south of downtown there, not having anything to do with this red line of backups. Those are the standard this time of day backups, although you see all these crashes right around the belt line, holding a lot of folks up this morning in certain areas. One of them, a double dip here. This popped up New Hope Road. There's a crash there, New Bern and New Hope, the intersection of that. And this one we've been pointing out, disabled vehicle right near I-440. So the belt line backed up a little bit this morning. 101.5 HD3, the place to find us when you're on the road.
The average family of four spends about $3,200 in junk fees per year. In 5 on your sides, Keely Arthur explains where there's new relief from junk fees and where you still need to take action to save.
A new FTC rule is now in effect. It requires full price transparency for hotels, short-term lodging, and live event tickets. That way you know the full price of something before you book.
Americans are sick and tired of getting hit with hidden fees that jack up prices and take a big bite out of their wallets. This is a big step in the right direction, but much more needs to be done.
That's because the FTC rule only addresses part of the problem. Extra charges can still be found when booking flights. To avoid this, book directly through the airline or a trusted travel agent. If you're renting a car, bring your own toll transponder to avoid extra charges. NC Quick Pass transponders work in 19 states, and you can use it in a rental car. But there are specific steps you have to take to make it work, and we've posted those on WRAL.com. Food delivery apps are convenient, but ordering directly from the restaurant, picking it up yourself, and paying in cash are all options to avoid service and credit card fees. And let's talk about banking really quick. Always use an ATM that is in your bank's network to avoid any extra charges there. Keely Arthur, 5 on your side.
A Raleigh woman is recovering after she says a venomous copperhead snake bit her. Lisa Austin says it happened while letting her dogs out in a yard on Friday. Before going to the ER, the 76-year-old says she killed the snake with a gardening tool to keep it from biting her pets. She describes the pain as unbearable.
And it starts to burn like a million bees are biting you. That's the initial sensation, and that goes on for quite a while.
Wow, she is expected to recover. NC wildlife officials say copperheads account for over 90% of venomous snake bites in the state.
A Benson woman is looking for the passengers who helped her while she went into labor on an airplane. Ashley Smitleff felt her water break on a plane. We're talking moments before taking off from Miami early this month. She said a pair of women from Raleigh comforted her through those emotional moments, and a flight attendant brought Let back into the terminal. But before paramedics could get her to a hospital, she gave birth right there on the spot in that Miami airport about 3.5 months before she was due.
it's a blessing because, doctors told me that I would never be able to have a baby. And for me to have a baby, I consider it a blessing. Just looking back, I am grateful because so many things could have happened in that airport, to me and the baby.
Let says that she and her baby, Amila, are doing very well. Amila is now 1 month old. The family has quite a bit of the crazy story to tell over the years, but oh boy, I'm just glad she's okay and baby's okay.
Yes, oh my goodness, what a story to tell. Wow. Well, the final chapter in the Downton Abbey saga is almost here, and we are getting a first look at a thriller about humanity's last chance. Here's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
The world is changing. The way we talk, the way we dress, the way we deal with each other.
Surely you're entitled to have some fun.
Classic Mary.
It's 1930 and change is coming to Downton Abbey. The official trailer is out for Downton Abbey, the grand finale, billed as the last chapter in the story of the Crawley family and their devoted staff. The film opens in theaters September 12th.
Please state your name.
Ryland Grace. I just woke up from a coma. I'm several light years from my apartment. And I'm not an astronaut. I'm not an astronaut. I'm not an astronaut.
If you don't go, you die. We're the rest of us.
Here's your first look at Ryan Gosling as a middle school science teacher with a doctorate in molecular biology who's drafted to save the world in Project Hail Mary. The science fiction adventure is directed by Spider-Verse creators Phil Lord and Christopher Miller and based on the novel by Andy Weir, whose previous book also got the big screen treatment, The Martian. Project Hail Mary launches in theaters March 20th, 2026. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
That looks good.
Yeah. Anything space related, you'll get me right there.
Hey, yeah, that's cool. It's cool.
All right, let's go ahead and go to Chris Michaels right here. Not in space, down here on Earth, because you have very real things that are happening right now that we're looking out for, at least tonight.
Yes, and it's going to take quite some time just because this cold front that we're tracking, our trigger for storms, is well off toward the west. And you see those along the Cumberland Plateau, but that's still quite a ways from here. So let's fast forward to 4 p.m. today, and you see some scattered storms in our western counties. We'll call it about a 30 to 40% coverage by then, about a 60% coverage as we go beyond 8 or 9 p.m. Into the overnight, we'll continue to track these storms with a localized flood threat west of I-95. Out the door tomorrow morning, showers are pretty scattered, but our best shot of storms on our Wednesday is late morning into the early afternoon, pushing along into the east of I-95. Deeper into the afternoon and evening, showers and storms a lot more hit and miss, and drier air comes in tomorrow night into Thursday. That front's going to stall out to the south and east. It provides kind of a breeding ground for a new area of low pressure that now has a 30% chance of turning into a tropical system. But even still, that's not enough to go canceling travel plans toward the beach. And this far inland, our 4th of July really looks nice. Temperatures topping out between 90 and 94, mostly sunny to partly cloudy. No matter if you're going to be at home, in the mountains, at the beach, or somewhere else, you can take us on the go with the free WRAL weather app. Here at home for some summer camps or whatever the case may be for today, temperatures reach into the low to mid 90s, water and electrolytes, whether it's work or play out there. And then heading into the evening again is when I expect our best shot of showers and storms today. At least it comes with a little bit of a cool down. Temperatures tomorrow will be in the middle 80s, so cool is used loosely, but it's our coolest day that we've had in about a month. High temperatures then back in the low to mid 90s for the foreseeable future. That takes us through the rest of this 4th of July weekend, guys.
Air quotes next to the word cool. Thanks, Chris. Hey, before we go to break, here's a look at your winning education lottery numbers. And we'll be back with a check of weather and traffic in just a second.